London, 1900. Order of the Golden Dawn, Isis Urania Temple. The magician breaks the ward and opens the door to the temple, striding inside. He wears a kilt, a mask of Osiris, and at his belt hangs talismans and a dagger. This is the occultist, Aleister Crowley, and he has come for vengeance. Once he passed through this door as a member, but the inner circle have now barred him. So, he has gone to his exiled master in Paris to learn the spells that will take this building for his own. He places a foot on the narrow stairs, but sees a shadowy figure at the top. The imperator of the temple, his rival, and the man who had cast him out. Irish poet William Butler Yeats. Crowley makes the sign of the inverted pentagram, snarling an incantation, while above Yeats makes his own sigil, readying a counterspell. The Battle of Blythe Road had begun. Thanks so much to Imprint for helping me to learn cool new stuff fast. Prepare thyself, Quillbearer, for today we shall be revealing secrets quite different from the extremist militias, mystery cults, or Enlightenment revolutionaries we've taught you about prior. No, today we'll be dealing with something a bit more magical. And should your mind be open to such tales, you will be elevated to the inner circle as a Helios in the Ordo Extra Historia. So what are we waiting for? Everyone, make the magic circle. Yes. Now, invoke the rune of Zoe Ascendant, and we'll tell you all about history's greatest, and probably funniest, wizard duel. We often think of the Victorian era as a golden age, specifically for Britain. But in truth, by the 1880s and 90s, many Britons were in a spiritual crisis. Victoria's reign had brought wealth, power, and technology, but also mill towns and pollution, mass poverty, and imperial cruelty. Not only did many people feel that the traditional structures of religion were not working anymore, they felt the current age needed to be destroyed and a more spiritual age born. And that is what caught W.B. Yeats' attention when a man named MacGregor began telling the young poet that he'd had visions of an apocalyptic war that would soon remake the world. This man, whose real name was Samuel Mathers, by the way, MacGregor was a mystical name he'd taken on, claimed to know magic. And he was one of the founders of a mystical society called the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. The organization had started, strangely, around some coded manuscripts discovered in a bookstall. Several friends with an interest in the esoteric, MacGregor included, got together to decipher them, and ended up expanding their circle into a formal group meant as a sort of magical university. Real magic. Magic with a K. It's the K that makes it magical. Now, by magic, we mean any kind of expansion of consciousness through exploration of arcane knowledge. Many order members had been interested in similar ideas put forward by Madame Blavatsky's new religion of Theosophy, but broke from her when she started incorporating more Eastern esoteric traditions from Buddhism and Hinduism. The Order of the Golden Dawn, by contrast, would explore the Western esoteric tradition of alchemy, ritual magic, mystery religions, numerology, Christian mysticism, and the Renaissance Kabbalah traditions associated with Queen Elizabeth's astrologer and spy master, John Dee. They also ripped off stuff from Rosicrucianism wholesale. Some of them had been English Rosicrucians, and they pulled their structure from, come on, say it with me, the Freemasons. Yep. Grades of membership, initiation rituals, inner and outer circles, special uniforms, and passwords. We don't need to belabor the point, we're 4 episodes in here. Although their ranks were based on tarot cards, which is interesting since Arthur Edward Waite, co-designer of the Rider-Waite tarot deck, was an influential member. Yeats took to it immediately, since it spoke to a sense he'd always had that the human imagination channeled the spiritual dimension. Soon he was doing experiments where he placed sigils on his friends' foreheads to see if they imparted any images relating to the meaning of the symbol. And as you might expect, the results were mixed. Yeats shot up through the ranks under MacGregor's patronage, eventually becoming imperator, or leader of the London Temple. Other members included Bram Stoker and the actress and suffrage activist Florence Farr. Together, the order published translations of old Renaissance magic grimoires and studies of mysticism and magic. They meditated, they discussed, they debated. But not all was well in the order. See, its broad remit gave it an inherent tension, because you had the MacGregor types on one side, who were way more interested in the occult, and then you had those like Waite on the other side, who considered all of that rubbish and exclusively pursued Christian mysticism. Then when Farr attained rank of chief adept in Anglia in 1897, many rankled at taking orders from a woman. Feelings also soured on MacGregor when he moved to France, yet kept a stranglehold on the London Temple, insisting he was in touch with ancient masters and could grant the only legitimate revelations. And then came Crowley. Crowley and MacGregor were in touch, and he was very much in the older man's camp of occultists, pursuing magic as a way to get power. Crowley was interested in dark magic and frequently referred to himself as aligned with the Antichrist. Himself a poet, he was also deeply jealous of Yeats's talent, which grew into a pathetic one-sided rivalry. But really, it was his libertine lifestyle and open bisexuality the leadership of the temple cited when they denied him the second highest grade of membership. Yeah, listen, Crowley kinda sucks, but homophobia sucks too. Furious, Crowley went to France to meet with MacGregor, who then unilaterally raised Crowley to the desired rank and taught him all the secret rituals locked behind it. Then he imparted Crowley with a mission: to take these dangerous and powerful spells he taught him, go to the temple of Isis Urania, raid it, do battle, and defeat the weak mystics. Ooh, also dress like the Celts of old in a kilt. MacGregor was sort of obsessed with the Celts, thus the name change, and wear the mask of Osiris and carry a dagger. And that is how Aleister Crowley came to be climbing up the stairs, dressed as he was, making the sign of the pentagram inversed from the opening of this episode. Yeats responded, along with at least 2 other members. They bellowed and gestured, throwing sigils with their hands and calling on elementals to strike Crowley down, casting magical wards to protect themselves. But Crowley advanced towards them, through a blizzard of curses and incantations, weaving his own spells in the air, besieging them in their own temple. The 2 sides battled furiously, casting spells and hexes, invoking the angelic and demonic alike, channeling elementals, and unleashing supernatural creatures. To no avail. Crowley still climbed towards them despite their esoteric assault, as if their arcane workings had no effect on him at all. Crowley was now close, within striking distance, his knife raised in evocation. But in the last moment, Yeats drew on his reserve strength and unleashed his ultimate attack. He kicked Crowley in the face. Yep, he just kinda decided, you know what, screw all this magic stuff, I'm just gonna boot the guy. So did everyone else, actually, in this duel, which must have been the correct arcane counter to all of the spellcasting because it sent Crowley tumbling down the steps. At least that's how one version of the story goes. At one point, Yeats claimed that his force of magicians won by calling on a higher power, namely the police, who escorted Crowley from the property and told him never to return. From there, though, the rumors just get even more bonkers. One Yeats biographer who interviewed Crowley relates that the bad blood between the two continued, and Crowley later came to believe that Yeats had sent a spectral vampire to chew on him in the night. Yeah. Anyway, the Golden Dawn's fractures didn't resolve after Crowley's defeat. Members drifted away from the order over the next few years, its lack of solid spiritual doctrine and internal divisions making it less attractive than the new competing religious movements. Heck, even Yeats left in 1905, following Farr's resignation. However, it did influence a range of new and alternative religions, from Aleister Crowley's own Thelema to the religion of Wicca, that was developed by a former Golden Dawn member and partially based on its philosophies. Popular culture, too, was forever changed by the Golden Dawn's ideas about ritual magic involving hand gestures, magic circles, and occult grimoires due to its publications and translations. Its principles and practices also deeply enriched the poetry of W.B. Yeats, which contained the seeds of its wide-tent embrace of multiple kinds of mysticism and philosophy, and some scholars believe he used meditation and ritual in his writing. Whether or not that's true, it still did influence some of the greatest verse in the English language. Because, in a certain way, they were right. Imagination is a type of magic. Oh, do you feel the power coursing through you, Helios? Ooh. Yes, you are now amongst the inner circle of the enlightened ones. That is, of course, again, circle with a K, because the K does in fact make it magical. I mean, the convenience store is just proof of that. So now, go forth and do good with your new power. But just be sure to return next week, when our teachings take us to Japan, and we dive into the founding of the infamous Yakuza, where you very well may attain the rank of Master of History. And to help you prepare for this transformation, O Seeker of Knowledge, let me ask you a question. In those small moments of your life when you're brewing coffee or in line at the bookstore or waiting for a game to download, what are you doing with your time? Well, if you're like me, basically doom scrolling, right? Just endlessly swiping on my phone through internet drivel I'm not going to remember anyway, which honestly never leaves me feeling good. Which is why today I am very pumped to tell you about Imprint, because I'm finding it a way more rewarding use of my time. It's this learning app that lets you engage with a ton of topics like history, philosophy, science, technology, productivity, and more in bite-sized sessions throughout your day, with visual and interactive lessons that you can complete in around 2 minutes. But seriously, don't let the quickness of it all fool you, because these lessons are strategically designed to help you understand complex concepts quickly and remember that information long-term. Not to mention, all of it is presented with in-depth visuals and animation to help you stay focused, which, not gonna lie, is a big help for me. For instance, since I've helped found this order of secret historians, I wanted to make sure that my knowledge started from the beginning. So in my free time, I've been devouring their learning path called Explore Human History. It starts with a breakdown of Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari, and before I knew it, I was at The Art of War by Sun Tzu, which was way better than me melting my brain on Twitter posts. And you can see if this awesome way of learning works for you with zero risk by checking out a 7-day trial of Imprint absolutely free right now by clicking the link in the description. And as an Ordo Extra Historia insider, you'll even get 20% off your Imprint membership when you use our link. So click here to make the most out of your in-between moments with Imprint, and then for even more forbidden knowledge, watch another of our videos here. Say, did you hear the one about Kuya Koi, Joseph Blame, Izzy Coin, Ilkner, Dominic Valenciana, Arclight Games, Angelo Valenciana, and Ahmed Ziad Turk being legendary patrons? Yeah, turns out they're the best.